The garden after rain. Morning came slowly after the night's rain, and the garden seemed to wake in layers of sand and color. Eliza stepped out carrying a watering can. Though the ground was already dark with moisture, she liked the ritual of it, the quiet promise that care would continue even when nature had already done its part. She paused beside the flower bed, where marigolds, foxgloves, and heavy peonies leaned under droplets. The petals still held their fragrance, softened by the rain. Kneeling, she set down her garden basket and took up a hand trowel, gently beginning to loosen the soil around the roots so the water would sink deeper. Beyond the path lay the vegetable patch, where each tomato plant trembled slightly in the breeze. She used a wooden fork to pull out weeds that had surfaced overnight, their pale roots exposed like threads. The damp soil yielded easily. Near the wooden rose trellis, the climbing roses had grown wild. Eliza picked up her pruning shears to trim branches that tangled the lettuce. She worked carefully. She believed to prune was less about cutting than guiding. A few fallen blossoms lay scattered across the ground, and she brushed them aside with a garden rake, drawing them into a soft pile that smelled faintly of summer. She moved toward the herb border. A touch released the sharp scent of thyme, while silver leaves of sage shimmered under droplets. Nearby, the fence was draped in honeysuckle, its sweetness already warming in the light. At the far end stood the old apple tree, its bark dark and breathing slowly in the sun. Beneath it stretched a low hedge, still wet and whispering with birds. Beside the trunk, rows of lavender glowed violet against the morning. Eliza finally lifted the watering can and began to water the plants, not because they needed it, but because the motion itself felt like part of the garden's language. She touched a single stem, steadying it upright, then straightened and looked across the beds. And the herbs, the flowers, the fruit trees, the patient geometry of growth. The garden smelled of rain, leaves, and time. And standing there, she felt, not for the first time, that tending this place was less about shaping life than listening to it.